Hey everyone, welcome to part 3 of the Let's Play for Icy. If you haven't watched the first two videos, you can check them out on my channel page. And to catch you up, Icy is a post-apocalyptic survival game that's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure with some RPG elements and survival elements tossed in. It's all about basically like fighting, dialogue, and scavenging. But you don't actually, have to control the fighting. You control it through choices that you make. So, anyways, in the previous two videos, we were captured by some slavers. Some members of our party were taken away by the slavers. We, however, were not. The slavers were attacked by the Red Horsemen, and we ran away. And then in the second video, we encountered a confrontation between an exceptionally large man and a group of raiders who claimed that that man had killed 3 of their party. And we were given basically the option of who to side with, and because of our choices, we sided with the man inside who buried his daughter and then joined our party. So the plan now is to continue to that little red thumbtack on the map, because we are quote unquote tracking the raiders, but really we are running away from the raiders. There are a few strange inconsistencies with the translation here, and but it's not. It doesn't prevent the game from being somewhat enjoyable so far. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and move down here. See if anything else happens. So you can see it's getting close to night. You spot an old house and tell everyone to get inside. You should be safe and able to rest, at least for a time. Well, we can stay here for the night. I don't think they'll come after us. Fine. Let's see if there's something useful inside the place. This guy kind of reminds me of the guy from The Witcher. The Witcher that's really cynical. Can't remember his name. The group starts scavenging the place. It looks like someone's shelter, but it has clearly been abandoned for years ago. You find some useful supplies, such as a couple of handmade bows with some arrows, some very rusty blades, and 3 bandages. They seem clean enough to be used. While Dimitri is preparing a fire, you see Eva speaking up. What shall we do now? So she doesn't normally talk. That's interesting. So we have some choices. We'll survive like we always did. Don't worry, we'll keep you safe. We'll keep going away. Say nothing. I don't think I'll be able to keep running like we did today. You can leave me here. I can take care of myself. I don't see that happening. While Eva is talking, you see Jerome asking you to come near him with a gesture of his hand. Then you turn again your attention to Eva. Why do you say that? Don't even think about it. We need to stay together. Go talk to Jerome. Don't even think about it. I am not a child. I am more than capable of surviving on my own. So we can say, I'm sure of that. No one can survive alone. That's why you should come along. So it's kind of like, what kind of flattery do you want to go for? Or you can just say, I don't think so. Eva lowers her eyes and waits for a couple seconds before answering, fine, but I don't want to be treated like a child. I'm old enough to deserve some respect. Looks like we have a deal, and you will have it. Okay, and thank you for being nice to me. I'm tired of people that only see me as a little child. She turns away and goes to sit near the fire. You can finally approach Jerome, who seems eager to talk to you. Now listen to me and listen carefully. You know how it works with families and new people. We are here with 3 strangers, but the girl is clearly too young to have any authority on this matter. Me and Dimitri will just pretend that you were our leader before that shit happened. The tradition is that the newcomers accept the family leadership, and we can't tell them that our leader died the same day the bandits attacked us. We'll treat them as a new member of our family, and since there is an actual leader, that Carlos guy won't argue with that, or at least I hope so. Are you okay with that? So I can like it. Will I really be the leader, or why me? Why me? Me? Nah, I'm too old for that, and I don't have the strength to be the leader. You've proven to be a resourceful person. You will do just fine. Just remember to listen to old Jerome's advice, will you? Now, let's go talk with our new companions. When everyone is gathered around a fire, Carlos begins what will be a long discussion. So, what now? Do we know where we are? Yes, this is the Vale, a relatively enclosed territory not so far from where we got caught. And what shall we do now? I suppose we have to choose a new leader, don't we? So I can say I am the one in charge and give him an intimidating look. No, we don't. Or wait for Jerome to say something. Well, you know, I'm going to take charge. Okay. No need to be so aggressive. It was a legitimate question. So, what shall we do now? Our friends are in the hands of some mysterious and incredibly well-equipped fighters who deal with local bandits for reasons unknown. We need to track them and hopefully save them. That won't only allow us to free our friends, but also to discover who these people are and where they get their awesome equipment. And I accidentally skipped a dialogue. Dang. But their direction is unknown to us. We can't just ask everyone we meet if they have seen some super soldiers passing by. They might be one of those mercenary groups. They're usually rich and well-equipped. We may not want to deal with them at all, actually. We can't ignore the fact that their friends were kidnapped either. So we can say maybe Jerome has already a plan. Our first duty is to survive, or we need a track. I think this is the way to go, because like those people, they look like they had like night vision goggles and just all kinds of stuff. So what are we going to attack them with? Sticks and rocks and things like that? So our first duty is definitely to survive. Carlos says, I agree with that. It's crazy to start tracking a group of killers with only a couple of handmade bows. We need to get back on our feet. Yeah, but we can't do that while searching for them. I'm not saying to do anything stupid, just looking for them for our friends. I have a friend not too far from here. Lives in a settlement called the Wind Tower. He's a weapons trader and maybe he will know more about them. He deals with special stuff too, so if those mercenaries are locals, he may know them. How far is this place? No more than a couple of days from here, I'm pretty sure of it. People keep talking, and you quickly discover that April and Carlos are good company. Eva is a little more silent, but she seems to know enough about survival to not be a problem for your group. You will be able to talk privately with your companions using the button on the left top of the map screen. So this, maybe, lets us talk privately? I see, so we can talk privately. Okay, so this must be where the wind tower is, even though I don't really see a tower. That is probably the wind tower. It's like a wind turbine. So it's day 2, 7 p.m. Should we really be traveling? Is there like options menu? Okay, so difficulty. There's a difficulty setting. Mine's on story, which is even like below easy. But I didn't have any option for that, or that I saw it first, so. And that's fine. We'll see the story. Okay, so let's see what happens if you talk to somebody. Okay, so what brings you to old Jerome? So I can ask about his eye, talk about his contact, ask about his past, ask about the veil, ask about the mission. Let's ask you about his eye. Did you hear those stories about people who masturbate too often? Apparently, if you play with yourself, a wild bear will appear and swipe off half your face. Interesting. So, if you like to enjoy yourself on all these cold and lonely nights, place some bear traps around your tent. So you can say it didn't come again, or can you spare some traps? Can you spare some traps? No way, I need them more than you. I only have one working eye. Jerome starts laughing and puts a hand on your shoulder. Anyway, we were hunting and a bear decided to knock me upside the head with his big old claws. I lost an eye, yet I suddenly became more aware of my surroundings. Ironic, isn't it? So let's ask about this contact. He's a weapons trader, a good and reliable person. He knows a lot about the ancients and their machineries. Even if he won't be able to buy the radio, we'll have a proper evaluation. So, this is the first mention I've heard of a radio. It could have been in that dialogue that we skipped. But, he's a friend of mine. Excuse me, need to drink more coffee apparently. We used to travel together, but he eventually decided to live in the wind tower after a wolf turned his right leg into a chew toy. Poor guy, he didn't deserve that shit. We can talk about his contact, or did ask about his past. Bet 1. I traveled a lot before ending up with his family, and I've seen a lot of different places and different people. Only the assholes are pretty much the same wherever you go. I was born as a nomad, and I will die as a nomad. Every nomad dreams about settling in a safe and hot place, but most of them just keep wandering around until they take their last breath. I abandoned my first family when I was 20 years old. We lost each other during a snowstorm, and I never managed to find them. We were traveling in the Great Plains, a dangerous place with scarce landmarks. Luckily for me, I found a new family after 2 months. I kept searching for my parents, but I would have died alone. Are you still interested in hearing this? I warn you, that was only the beginning. So, go on. Sure. I liked my new family. They allowed me to take more risks and do some exciting stuff. I finally started to enjoy my dangerous daily routine. I was young, and I was unable to find happiness in a tranquil life. I was craving some action, and my parents always tried to protect me, to keep me away from any kind of danger. I discovered the troubles of living an adventurous life just a year later. Our family got attacked by a group of red horsemen. Most of us got killed. The women were enslaved, and I was left for dead on the ground. I was alone again. I barely managed to survive, and I learnt about caution in the worst way. I traveled to a near settlement, and some people were so kind that they allowed me to stay with them for a while, allowing my wounds to heal. I remember that I was incredibly grateful and surprised. I've never heard of anyone else getting inside a settlement so easily. Are you still with me? Or maybe you want to continue some other time. Go on. Where were we? Oh yes, my short experience as a settled man. They were really kind, but it was obvious that I couldn't stay for long. The settlement was already too crowded. Among these people there was Hector, a young but capable boy. The man who was our leader for so many years that I can't really believe he's dead. Hector asked me to join him. He was about to leave the settlement with some other people like Goran, but he was no expert on a nomad's lifestyle. That's how our family was born, and I'm thankful that I've never seen it fall apart despite all the dangers that we've faced. We traveled a lot, but the world outside the veil is dangerous. That's why 5 years ago we decided to come here. Lots of things changed since the day we became a family. We lost many people, but we also found a lot of new friends. Then, 2 years ago, we found you, a mysterious guy with amnesia. The tale is over. I didn't give you a lot of details about everything that happened after my meeting with Hector because a lot of these things happened, but nothing that you didn't see in those 2 years. Bandits, beasts, and so on. The only thing different is that in the Vale, those things are not that common. So, do you like my little tale of my life? I want to know more. Yes, thanks, Jerome. I want to know more. Fine. I promise you that I will give you more details, but not today and not tomorrow. There are some things that I'd like to keep buried for a little while longer. So, I think we already... Well, I guess we can ask about our mission. It's a screwed up situation. We risk throwing ourselves into a suicide mission, but at the same time, we can't just abandon our companions. We need to track them. In doing so, we'll have time to gather items and supplies. We need to prepare for dealing with them. At the end of the day, they're just 3 people. They may be some badass mercenaries, but they're humans just like you and me. All that's needed to kill a human is a properly placed bullet, which is very true. But we need to be able to shoot that bullet. We need weapons, supplies, and probably more people. There's strength in numbers, which is true. Okay, so that's everything. We'll leave. Yeah, let's not waste too much time chatting. Let's talk to Miss Dimitri here. What do you need, glorious leader? So we can ask about her past, or her past, or the mission. So let's talk about her past. I can, but it won't be easy for me. I lived as a renegade until Jerome told me I could join them, and it's not pleasant to unearth such parts of my past. We can say that it would be very important. I'm just curious, or you don't need to do that. Don't worry, I can do that, but don't complain if I choose to end the tale another day. One shouldn't dig too much into painful memories. My story begins 24 years ago. I was born as a nomad in a large family. We were many, and the cattle we used to breed fed us every day. I was different from the others, and I understood that in my youth, thanks to the other children and their innocent cruelty. My thoughts and my words were marked as strange and crazy, just like they are today. People don't understand the meaning of different. People need a simple world with simple rules. I couldn't be different. As soon as my parents died, I became a renegade, a burden that everyone hated and despised. That's why I left them, searching for different people to walk on my different path. I left them, and it was the best decision I ever made. I traveled for 2 years around the world. I learned how this world works and how people think. Only the shallows describe the world and its inhabitants using simple words and simple rules. But you can understand them if you understand the rules, because they're too limited to go beyond those beliefs. I finally found Jerome and Hector 4 years ago, and that was a joyful day. They accepted me, and that's all that matters. I don't care if they thought I was just a crazy girl, because I became part of something. And you accepted me too. That's why I don't care if strange is the word used to describe me. I just need to be myself without being mistreated for that. So if you're not a fool, you shouldn't say so. I owe you. That's what they said, that I was a danger. I am not. I'm more capable of surviving than most people I met. Anyway, the tale isn't finished yet, but I will tell you its ending in the future, not today. I don't like to recall those times, and I already do that. It should be T-O-O often in my head. Well, we don't want to dredge her for details, so let's talk about the mission. Our quest will bring us to face an incredible danger, but we can't witness the kidnapping of our family without feeling the urge to strike back, which I agree with. This is our chance to evolve. If we will be able to survive this, we will no longer be simple survivors. Okay. The predator doesn't expect the prey to hunt him. They don't know we are coming, and they will discover that only when the real fight will begin. Alright. So she's like a small-time philosopher, apparently. Dimitri smiles. Let's get back to our daily walking. Okay. Talk to Carlos here. Hello to you. Is there something you want to talk about? So we can ask about his past, ask about April. So let's ask about his past. It's nothing interesting. You're a survivor too. It's all about hunting, scavenging, and always having cold hands and a nose that begs for mercy. So we can say, are you hiding something? I had amnesia, or I'm sure there's something. So the survivor life must be quite new to you, but I'm pretty sure in those 2 years you had the chance to rediscover the non-existent pleasures of our life. Anyway, there isn't much to tell you. I was born as a survivor, I lived as a survivor, I am a survivor now, and I'm afraid I will die as a survivor. I left my parents when I was 20. It wasn't my choice. We got attacked by a group of cannibals. They killed most of us, including my parents. Gross. I traveled with the other survivors for some time. Then we met another group, and we decided to join them. April was among those strangers. We started getting to know each other. We liked each other. In 2 years, we got married. For some time, I was really, really happy, but things aren't going to last on the White Wasteland. I consider myself lucky because despite everything that happened, I never lost April. We've been through some rough shit. Long story short, after some time, our group decided to split up and life became risky again. Then we traveled with 3 different families. Every time there were problems that ruined everything. Every time we lost everything, we never lost each other. The last of those 3 families was attacked by some bandits just a week before we first met. And I think you pretty much know the rest. End of story. Please don't ask for a detailed version. I prefer some things stay private, sure. So we can respect his privacy. One day we'll talk again, or I should know about this. Well, one day we'll talk again. Yeah, maybe. Now, is there something else you wanted to discuss? We already pretty much know about April. They're married. Not that we won't see each other for the rest of the day. Okay. Is this April? Yeah. Hi there, what can I do for you? So we can ask about her past, ask about Carlos, let's ask about her past. My past, well, I've always lived as a nomad, walking on the mantle and struggling to survive day after day. Despite our conditions and what we have to do to survive, I feel lucky. I have my faith, to guide me and my man to comfort me. People made fun of me because of my faith in God, but it always gave me strength, made me endure the hardest moments. I never lost hope, and that's why I'm still alive. I have Carlos, too, to brighten my day. We met a long time ago, and since that day, we've always been together. Nothing in the world managed to tear us apart. Everything else is just a story like many others. We've been in different families, we've fought for our life, and we've had our bad times and good ones, too. So we've done this, we already know about Carlos. Let's ask her about her faith. She smiles. I am a Christian like many others, but unlike many others, I really seek to live following good principles. A lot of ancients were Christian. Religion was very important back then. Right now, we forget that there's a higher purpose for our life and that our struggles will lead to an eternal reward. Faith is my strength, my beacon of light in this world of cold darkness, and even if people sometimes mock me, I think they envy my inner strength. Interesting. Okay. Who else do we have? Two more people. So let's talk to these people. There's her Eva. Eva smiles when you approach her. So we can talk about her, or her parents. Let's talk about her. What do you want to know? There isn't really much to say, I guess. I lived as a survivor just like everyone else. Nothing really happened in my life until I got captured by those bandits and I joined this family. Even if we always have to worry about things, I have done more things since that moment than I've done my whole life. What about your parents? I lived with them as a nomad, just like everyone else. They didn't travel as much as we do now. Life was kind of easier for me. I really miss them, but everyone walking on the White Wasteland knows that people die every day. I must accept the fact that they're no longer here. They cared for me, maybe even too much. I never had the chance to do anything on my own, and I didn't like how much they worried about me. At least I can get stronger now, learn how to survive on my own, help the people traveling with me. I fell useful. Alright, she's not going anywhere. And last, our new addition. What's up, boss? So we can ask about his past, we can ask about racism, or the rescue mission. So let's start with his past. Well, I suppose it's your right to know more about me. Recalling some memories is painful, but they haunt me anyway. My parents died when I was a child. We used to live in a settlement, and that's when they tried to kick me out. Luckily, some young people were about to depart to find another place to live. Their boss wanted me to go with them. She was a lovely person. My skin didn't matter to her. I grew up, and one day I met Josie, my wife. I knew it may sound hypocritical, but I liked the idea of another black person in the group, especially a woman. Our leader died during a hunt, and that's when everything started to collapse. The new leader wasn't too fond of me and never approved my choice to have a child with Josie. Something like a year before you found me, they kicked us out of the family. We were on our own, and it wasn't easy. Well, you know how it ended. That sums up pretty much everything. A painful journey, despite some happy moments. What about racism? As often as someone big like me can, he takes a deep breath. You saw what happened to my family. No matter how strong I am, bullets can always take me down. We had no problems while we had a big family. Racists are not that common, especially because black people are quite rare too. There was always the occasional guy that needed to point out the fact that I'm black, but they usually stopped after losing some teeth. But when we had to travel on our own, well, things became harder. There was no one to protect us. We became easy targets for people's rage and ignorance. You want to save your friends, ignoring how hard it could be? I can respect that. I don't care about the risks. I already lost everything. You tried to protect me. You seem to be nice people. If I have to die, I want to do that doing something good. Seems like a good man. Alright, whatever you want, boss. So apparently I'm the boss. Alright. So we've had a private conversation with everybody. We've kind of gotten a bit more of a feel for their personalities, their attitudes. Hopefully that'll actually play into the game. That'll be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here. And in the next video, we will make our way to the wind tower and see about this contact of Jerome's. I hope you've enjoyed the series. So far, I'm enjoying it all right. It's not like been a game where I'm just like, oh my god, you got to play this, you know. I think if you're a fan of narratives and post-apocalyptic stuff, you'll probably enjoy it. But if you know, some people would probably think this is really boring, and I would completely understand that. So I will see you in the next video. Until then, game on.